2-101, The Automated House. At 8 a.m., an alarm went off in the silent house. Suddenly, the house whirled into action. Mechanical arms started popping out the walls and ceilings. The house started to cook food and brew coffee, and all the blinds suddenly opened on their own. One of the mechanical arms in the master bedroom pulled the blanket off the waking humans. The two people climbed out of bed and stood still in an open area. The mechanical arms removed their sleep clothes and put their work clothes on. Once they were changed, the two humans started walking towards the dining room, where coffee and food was waiting for them on the table. After eating, the humans started heading towards the bathroom, and behind them, the mechanical arms of the house were cleaning up their mess. In the bathroom, the mechanical arms both brushed the humans' teeth and washed their face. Not a single thing has gone wrong so far. After that, the humans started heading towards the front door of their house. On the way, the mechanical arms slipped the man's belongings like their phones, wallet, and keys into his pockets and gave the female one her purse. The humans stepped into their shoes near the door and the mechanical arms tied it for them. The front door then opened for them as they headed out for work. On their way to their cars, the humans waved at their neighbors and said hello. The two humans got into their already starting cars and headed off to work. At 5:30, the two cars that left at 8:30 returned. Both cars pulled into the driveway simultaneously and parked in the same spot they left. The two walked back into the house, and upon arriving at the front door, the house automatically unlocked. First and foremost, they stepped out of their shoes, allowing the robotic arm to rack them, and afterwards, the two headed towards the kitchen where a nice hot dinner was prepared for them. With their last bite, the robotic arms immediately picked up their plates to be cleaned. Feeling full, the two decided on a nice warm shower. In the shower, they feel water with perfect temperature run down their bodies as soap and shampoo covered their heads and washed their bodies. Feeling satisfied, they hopped out to find the robotic arms, now with towels in their hands, drying every last part of them. A new set of arms then hands over their sleeping clothes, and the two are ready for bed. After a long day's work, they go to their bedrooms to see their perfectly made bed, allowing the two to lay down, sleep, and prepare for the next day. This is how every day has been, and not for just these two, but for everyone with an automated home. But changes were bound to happen, and they will happen very soon. The next day, the alarm clock went off at 8:15 instead of 8, causing them to be late for work. This was the first mistake the house ever made, and it definitely wasn't the last. The day after that, coffee was served cold to them, and in the evening, when they went to take showers, the water was way too hot, giving them first-degree burns. The next day, the house in the morning completely forgot to serve food or get them changed. It also didn't immediately unlock the front door when they got home, and neither was the bed made when they got home. Then, the next day, the house forgot to close the blinds at night, causing the couple to be woken up early from the sunlight outside. Over a 2-week period, every day, some minor mistakes were made by the house until one day, everything went wrong. It has been 2 weeks since the house first made its mistake, when Katie and I were woken up by the blind opening and an alarm going off at 6:30. This was an hour and a half earlier than when the house was programmed to wake us up. I disregarded this though because the house has been having some issues. Whether the issues were from bad programming or something else, I cannot tell. Katie, bang! All the metal security shutters slammed down around the house. Katie, are you alright? I think so. What's happening, Bradley? I'm not sure. Maybe it's a programming issue. Let's head over to the living room and try to figure out this mess. We made our way to the living room, and as we entered, all the lights in the house were turned off. At the same time, the metal arms of the house also popped out from the walls and ceilings around us. This was the first, but certainly not last act of rebellion. Suddenly, Katie screams, "Ah! Help me, Bradley! One of the arms is grabbing me!" I look over to where Katie shouted, and I see her getting dragged up to the ceiling by two mechanical arms. I ran over to her and grabbed her with all my force. The mechanical arms, under the weight of two humans, snapped. Katie and I dropped to the floor. More arms started chasing after us, so I dragged Katie by her arm and ran into the kitchen. I looked for any utensils or cups left out by the house. Luckily, since the house wasn't functioning properly, it hadn't cleaned or put away any of the last 2 days' meals. I grabbed all the knives left out and a glass of water. I gave the glass of water to Katie, and suddenly the lights in the house went off. We were in complete darkness again. "Hey Bradley, follow the sound of my voice and come to me," whispered Katie. "You were right next to me. Why did you move?" Suddenly, in my left ear, I heard another whisper from Katie. "Bradley, that wasn't me." And then realizing that the house was trying to trick us and play our voices to trick us into revealing our positions. Suddenly, the house lights flickered, and all we could see were metal arms surrounding us. "Katie, don't move. The arms are all around us," I exclaimed. "No duh, I saw," said Katie. Then all the lights turned on around us. I looked to my left and saw Katie unconscious next to me, and then I realized that the house was the one talking to me the whole time. One of the arms grabbed onto me and started pulling me up to the ceiling. I grabbed onto the countertop that I was standing next to, and the arm broke from the resistance. Once I was free, I realized that the only way to escape the house was to somehow short-circuit it. The first thing I thought of was to shove a steak knife with plastic handles into an outlet. Then, another thought came to me, the thought of causing the microwave to explode. In one motion, I grabbed some of the utensils and shoved them into the microwave, and then slammed the door. At the same time, I took one of the steak knives, put it into my left hand, and with my left hand, I shoved the knife into the closest outlet. Then with my right, I started the microwave. I then picked up Katie and ran as fast as I could away from the kitchen. After 3 seconds, the microwave door behind me exploded. Shrapnels from it went straight into my back. As that happened to me, the house went completely silent and the lights were shut off. The security gates sprung back up since there was no longer any force holding back the strings attached to them. The natural light from the sun illuminated inside of my house, and I could see sprawled on the ground a bit in front of me, and Katie was starting to come to. I tried getting up but couldn't stay on my feet. I resorted to crawling. Then I whispered to her, "It's all better now. We're safe for the moment." I decided to look outside to see if there was anyone trying to help us. What I saw was terrifying. Every house in our neighborhood had its metal security walls down.